What's going on, world? This is your girl, Marky Lemons-Ryhal. And as you might know, I spend 100 nights per year on the road. And one of those great opportunities was at the IOI Summit in Miami. And I also don't know if you know, but I'm the person who talks to everybody. I lean over to people, I engage in conversation, and the IOI Summit I did the same identical thing in Miami, but I happen to have on sequence. So I had the great opportunity to meet our guest today, Vijay Gopalswamy, who I got it right from Trackxi. And we had a great conversation about his product and how it helps real estate professionals. What's going on today, Vijay?
Very good, Marky. Amazing introduction. Honored to be in your podcast. So excited.
I am elated for you to be here. I know that we had scheduled an appointment to record sooner, and my travels would not allow me to be great. So, one, I want to thank you for being patient with rescheduling and leveraging LinkedIn to reach back out to me to remind me, you have not interviewed me yet. So, here we are today to talk about Trackxi. So, you've had the opportunity, if memory serves me right, to practice real estate, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And tell us your history in the world of real estate and how did Trackxi even come up?
Thank you, Marky. And thanks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So my career in real estate started about 15 years ago. I'm in Portland, Oregon, in the rainy Northwest. So I have a small team. I kind of started by accident in real estate. I was not planning to be there, but kind of got in. I was really intrigued and excited about the opportunities it presents for the largest wealth building industry in America, right? So I really got intrigued. And I'm a pretty successful agent. I'm number 68 last year in Oregon out of the 15,000 agents. I have a small team. I do between, on a bad year, 50 transactions, on a good year, closer to 100 transactions a year. And right after COVID, when the market took off, my target was to do 250 transactions a year. And I was trying to scale, and I hired a couple of people, and I could not scale because all the minutia in real estate transactions. It bogs you down so much. You're spending so much time on all the operational things, tracking contractors and painters and all these things as well. So I was limited by my capacity to scale. Then I started looking for tools that other successful agents and groups are using to scale, to do bigger volume. What I found out, they have a bigger team. They have a 10, 20 people team. And I was like, well, if you have a bigger team, you're managing the team, you're not doing real estate. So I wanted some tools to help me. And then I talked to about 25 different software companies to help me. And I'm a big process fan. So you need a good people, good systems and process to scale. And I could not find any software that helped me really to scale. What I found out is like a lot of CRMs and lead generation tools. But on the other extreme, there was a lot of tools, I call them compliance tools, where the brokerage tells you where to put files and what to do. And that's what I found out. And real estate agents like you and me and everybody in this podcast, we are in between. The agency does not care about some of the things we do. Like, did you put a lockbox? Did you send the addendum? Did you send the painters? The photographer go there? All these things that we have to manage on a daily basis is not very important for a brokerage. They come and say, well, we give you training how to lead gen, and then you bring me a sale and we pay you. We take our cut and we pay you, right? In between is where I wanted help. And I talked to a bunch of agencies, brokerages. They were using Excel and Asana and Google Docs and all that to track their projects. I call them projects, right? So I could not deal with that. I had a good Excel spreadsheet. I want to scale. I could not scale. Then I said, okay, you know what? Let's create one that's for the agents, by the agents, that can help them to grow. That's kind of the story.
Oh, I love it. So for the agents, by the agents, and because you were 68 out of 15,000 fellow realtors, you're doing 50 to 100 transactions, but the goal was 250 transactions. Now, one thing that you said that stood out to me was in order for people to actually get to the 250 transactions, they would have to build a bigger team. And then those team members actually cost more money. Yeah. So, yeah, we can hire more people, but then we can also reduce the amount of our return on investment. And you wanted to come up with a system, something that was trainable, that would be substantially less in order to earn a higher return on your investment over time.
Totally. I mean, the goal is to make most money possible, not to make the most transactions possible. A lot of people say, I made 100 transactions. No, it's about making money and saving for your family, right? So if you focus on that aspect of it, you're spot on. You can hire 10 people, you can do 250 transactions, but you may make less than what you're doing with 50 transactions. So I call them, you run a big adult daycare. That's what you end up doing.
You know what? Well, some people might not appreciate the adult daycare, but I get it. And let me tell you why I get it. I am very much into net income.
Mhm.
We see people all the time talking about their gross income, but they might not have any net income, because at the end of the day, in order to reduce their taxable income, to reduce the taxes they pay to the feds, they are writing everything off, which often then means that they can't buy the bigger house because they don't have the income. They don't have the net income to buy
Yeah.
the bigger house.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that I run a lean business, and I do have systems in place,
Yeah.
is due to the fact that I want to have the money to put into my self-employment pension plan to
Yeah.
position me to be able to retire. So I have a Roth, I have a SEP. I love net income. I am always focused on profitability and net income, because there are a lot of us out here working that are working in vain. We don't have any, whatever the little Social Security we're going to get, some of us not getting it because we
No.
haven't paid into Social Security. We don't have Roths, we don't have SEP. And as I'm telling people, I have an end date in mind in order to be financially eligible for retirement. And that is because I'm making these financial investments. So even though I know that Trackxi is to help me scale, what I also hear is you want to do it. I would call it be an economically responsible way to
Absolutely.
empower yourself and those around you to be able to retire if they desire in the future.
100%. So just 2 points on that per topic. So I did like around 75 transactions, sometimes all by myself in a few years. And then I had like maybe one other agent, another part-time buyer agent. That's my whole team when I was doing 88 transactions a year, right? That is a very, very lean team, right? And then if you scale, like I said, you can bring in other people. When you bring in more people, two things happen. You end up spending time hiring, training, coaching, following up. Nothing to do with clients, right? So what we built in Trackxi is Trackxi takes care of all that, right? The system training is built into the system already. You don't have to train anybody. If you bring in a new person, we have videos they can watch for 25 minutes. They can be up and running in Trackxi, no problem, right? We made it so intuitive. It's like using an iPhone. You don't need training for that. That's how we built Trackxi. And if you're a user, you'll know more about it. Number two, anything in process, we build into templates inside Trackxi. So your business secret sauce is in the Trackxi. So when you bring in a new person, you don't need to teach them how many days after inspection you do this, how many days after picture you go live. Everything is built in a template. So if somebody leaves or somebody comes in, literally they can be up and running in 1 hour in your business the way you want. So you don't have to worry about people leaving and coming back. They're trainable automatically by the system, and your business process stays in the software.
And training to me is key, right? Period, to the world of real estate, because what most practitioners, a lot that have been in the business for decades, fail to realize is the fact that the pre-licensing course does not teach you how to sell real estate, right? Because there's an entrepreneurship component, there's a sales component, there's a marketing component. Look, there's a hire and fire component, right? So that's human resource component to it. What I'm liking is the fact that the system is intuitive, the fact that you've built these templates in, and that it's providing the training that is needed in order to be successful. And when I actually hire people who are smarter than me. I don't train the people who I hire. One of the people who work for me, they just told me, we had a discussion about them getting a raise. And I said, well, if I give you a raise, I want to know, what are you going to do? Not only give them a raise, but they want more hours. If I was to do that, I want to know, what are you going to do different? And where do you see you spending this time? And they gave me, well, first they've studied me, so they know what I wanted to hear. They broke down everything that is not on their to-do list. They can't fit it onto that list that needs to be done. And so most of us, and I'm a trainer, and I don't want to train my employees, right? Because that means I have to stop training others to come back to train them. So when you start creating Trackxi, what was the very first problem you wanted to solve for yourself?
So the very first problem is, what do I to my team do in the morning? When you wake up in the morning, say you have a listing, there's 35 things to track in a listing. And you have 5 buyers, there's 25 things for each buyer to track for each transaction, right? And when you have 10 of these transactions, if you have even an average 25 tasks to get to closing, there's 10 times 25, 250 things you have to remember and manage, right? So what I wanted is, like, I wake up in the morning, I go to a system, the system tells me, Vijay, there are 250 things to manage, but today you have to manage these 7 things. It prioritizes. It's like having an executive assistant managing your transactions. Our system goes through each transaction, each task every day morning, 4 a.m. Pacific time. It looks at the task due dates, and then it prioritizes it for you. So all you come in and say, these are the 7 things I have to do. These are the 15 things my team has to do. It prioritizes, it gives you focus on where you want to spend your time. That's one thing. Number 2, if I get a listing, when I was doing my own real estate, I could come up and had a checklist and all these things. But when I have to delegate it to my team, I have to exactly tell them, when you get a listing, what are the things you have to do, right? Get a CMA, get the licensing, get the listing agreement, explain the commission to the seller, new topic, right? That we all deal with. Did I do that, right? And then disclosure send, photographer, all these things. But it's a standard template to a certain extent, but it varies for each property. And then how do we do that consistently for all my listings and all my buyers and all my sellers? It's a template. It's in my brain, but I want that to be a system so my team can use it instead of relying on me to use it. Those are the 2 main problems we tried to solve. And the third one was, okay, if my team is not there tomorrow, how can somebody else jump in and do it, right? Onboarding and training, knowledge expansion, that's kind of what it was. These are the 3 problems we set out.
So you just got back, I think we both just got back we met in Miami, but we both just returned home from Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. I was there with Next Home. Who were you there with?
I was invited by the Keller Williams team to be there as a guest, and then also the leading real estate companies leading RE conference. And I'm part of this PropTech companies as a founder. And as you know, I've been going to all kinds of conferences in the last 6 months. So our company, by the way, it's like about 2 years old. We have about 16 people in the company. I'm kind of the real estate expert. And then I have another co-founder who's a technical expert. And we started building initially I started building this tool for myself. And then when I started doing, one of the big features we have in Trackxi is, I remember so if it's like a pizza tracker, it tracks your transaction. But you can also share that with everybody in the transaction, meaning you can share with your buyers, sellers, title company, lender, and even the cooperating broker to see where the transaction is. So that brings a lot of 100% transparency to everybody in the transaction, right? That is a big factor. Once we started doing it, there were a lot of calls started coming in. A lot of other agents and brokerages started calling me, and we started selling. And it's only like a year ago we kind of started selling outside of the people we know in Portland. And Inman did a great coverage on us. And then the Close magazine ranked a whole bunch of companies, and they ranked as number 1 in year 1. Which was amazing, the top 10 transaction tools, and we were number 1. And because of that, we felt like this tool has places to go. So we started going to conferences. So that's why I'm in this leading RE conference as well, talking to real estate investors, entrepreneurs, other company owners. And I'm also trying to go into this NAR Reach program, which we are in the process. So we are probably trying to get in there. So all those things, we want to scale, and we want to put the Trackxi tool in as many agents as possible.
So what's funny is I've had the opportunity to work for leading real estate companies of the world in Vegas. And then also I was a partner in the Keller Williams franchise, and I was a certified market center instructor and certified regional instructor with Keller Williams. So when you were there and you were sharing your tool, what is like that magic bullet of using Trackxi? Do you have a magic bullet, especially if you're pitching to be in the REACH program, right? Which I think I might be able to say this. I will see you at the IOI Summit in Chicago as well, more than because I live here.
Yeah, definitely. So there's two magic bullets in Trackxi. One, if you look at a lot of the real estate software, it's created by a company, like funded by a VC firm or something, and it's sold to a brokerage or an MLS. And then all the agents are kind of the childs of that company, right? This brokerage has a license for all the agents, right? So what I learned as an agent, and also when we started the company, most of the agents, they don't want to put their business process and secrets and contacts and systems into a company's tool, right? And it's not that the big companies are going to do anything, but it's a fear. Like, do I want to put my neighbors and friends' contact information into a CRM that some company owns? And what if I want to move to another company, right? And that's one reason. And then the other thing, the big companies like Keller Williams and Remax and all this world, they have built a system to run their brokerage. And the agents happen to be the users of the software, right? But it's not, I feel like it's not built for them. And what we did with Trackxi is it's an independent company software. It doesn't even ask you which company you work for. You can work for any company you want. It's your database, your system, your process, your template, and it goes with you wherever you are, right? And because of this, I thought the franchisee would not be interested in my software, but I was wrong. I met a few franchisee owners and market center owners, and they're like, our software, people don't use it that much because of all these reasons. So if we have something easy to use, simple, built for agents, and it does what an agent needs to do every day, I think they will use it. So as a market center owner, your job is to find tools for agents to be successful. Yeah, you want it to be a Keller Williams tool, but it doesn't really matter. They use a Scratchpad, so be it. You can that. As long as they're successful, franchisee is successful, right? So because of that, we had a little bit of a dilemma on how to market it in Keller Williams event. But I didn't seek out to them. The market center in Portland, they reached out to me and they like the software. There's a couple of companies or brokers and teams and TCs using from their market center. So they told these market center owners. So they invited me. So I was more looking and seeing what can be done there. It's a huge opportunity for big franchises to use some independent software. And one of the things I learned from Remax CEO in another event before, they spent $300 million to build an end-to-end system, and very few people in the company used it. So they scrapped the whole thing, right? So things like that, the big companies do it. But thing is, I'm kind of coming from hey, what can we do for an agent? What does an agent day looks like, and what can we do for it? That's kind of our approach.
When you said what you just said, something came to mind. I'm an entrepreneur. I realized that every single day, a lot of realtors have forgotten the fact that they are entrepreneurs, right? What stood out is you built a brand agnostic tool. So regardless to the company you're aligned with, but more importantly, because I get this question all the time, well, Marky, if I put my information into this tool, what if I leave this company? As entrepreneurs, we have the right essentially to shop consistently the organization in which we work for. And with that being said, that also now means that we do not want to have to start all over with our customer relationship management and the tools that we use if we go to another company, because now we have a lot of downtime. And thinking about downtime, I'm going to go back. I've been in real estate now for 25 years. And I think it was about 20 years ago that I realized, do not give the company's phone number out. Only give your mobile number out for when you leave the company, they can always get in touch with you. Yep. The second thing was around your own domain name, Marky. Use your own domain name and build traffic to it. So if you leave, you can take it with you. And so, one, you definitely address the issues that the average agent is going to have, or that who is running their business like a business. They want to be able to take it with them. They want it to be brand agnostic. Those top producers are competing with top producers at other brands. And I love the fact that you took that into consideration, keeping the heart and soul of the entrepreneur and those things that definitely should be a focus to us if we want to own our brand. And something kind of funny has recently happened. I'm noticing a lot of people, especially in my age bracket, I'm mid-age 53. they'll come over to Facebook and they'll say, well, I'm getting a new mobile device. What mobile device should I get? And everybody starts chiming in. No one ever stops and asks that person, what is your current operating system? One thing, right. One thing I don't encourage anyone to do is to change their current operating system, because by doing so, you're going to be down 7 to 14 days. Because not only do you have to transfer all of the data, you have to now familiarize yourself with a brand spanking new operating system. I'm never going to be an Apple girl. Never, ever, ever, because I don't want to have to learn the new system. So thank you for taking that into consideration.
Absolutely.
Woo, that's a lot.
No, so a couple of points on that. So I'm in the same boat. I'm an entrepreneur as well. And I know a lot of real estate agents are. So one of the things I see as a real estate agent, you are your own company. You can work for any brand, but the brand does not own your business, right? You own your phone number, you own your domain, your email, but you can go anywhere you want. A lot of the agents are fearful to move because of the exact point you mentioned. Hey, if I go, I don't know how to transfer my contacts. I don't know if I can take my files. I don't know if I can take my listings, all that. And if you think about it, it's about 3 to 6 months of chaos in your business, right? And because of that, a lot of agents are stuck to some brands, paying more desk fees, paying more all of these things. They don't even look because it's such a painful process to do, right? So what we want to do is like democratize that and say, hey, come in, this is your system, your brand, you can do it. And then we do 2 other things in the extreme ends. For brand new agents coming into the industry, we have templates built for them that step by step, it's a 60-step process. It walks you through, okay, get a license, get a social media account, get a phone, get a haircut, get a suit, right? Get a headshot, right? We have templates. We want to guide them through. The system tells you, Marky, you came in 3 days from now, you get a headshot. 5 days from now, you get a domain. It walks you through that. That template is included in Trackxi for free, right? We walk you through. And for existing owners, we have one template called an annual business plan template. It just tells you, hey, you're a business owner. Make a plan for this year. Set some targets. Look at your tools. Look at your processes. Look at your people and set some targets and do a quarterly review. The system reminds you every quarter, hey, do your taxes today. Plan for your business. Do a customer appreciation. We forget things when you are busy. So we have templates to guide them through that as well. So we also do business planning coaching for free. It's included. On the other extreme, I had a client, a couple, older couple, they want to get out of the business and they don't have anything to sell. They don't have a bad book of business. Their database is in their company CRM, right? So what we are trying to do, and then their process is all in their head, right? So what we are trying to do is import that, put it in here, and put all their transactions in here. I think they've done 700 transactions over 15 years. Put all the transactions. And now you can hire another assistant or another agent. You could probably do a split. And these people can semi-retire and have somebody run the business. Our software helps to do that handover process to them. They can sit in a retirement home or a Hawaii beach and they can see the transactions, see what this agent is doing. And then at some point of time, they have something to sell, make money for their retirement. If not, they shut down the business, their process and experience goes to waste, their database, don't know where it is, they cannot do anything with it. So in the other extreme, we are also trying to do. So we're trying to bring from brand new agents to retiring people, put it all the systems processes in one place, grow efficiently, and you can also transfer over at some point. That's what we're trying to do.
Well, when we talk about selling your book of business, right, inside of Trackxi, and I don't think it would be even hard to add this, you could add or assess a value, right, to that database to help them with the selling based on when the person purchased their home, things of that nature. So putting all of that information gives them something to be able to sell upon the time in which they retire, which I think is genius because I'm not going to say I'm the queen of passive income, but I have 13 streams of income. I believe in passive income and love how you've incorporated that for those that are looking to retire, because right now the average age of a realtor is going to toggle between 53 and 56 years of age, contingent upon the year. So Vijay, if people want to reach out to you, they want to see what Trackxi is all about, how do they do that?
The first stop will be our website and this site, trackxi.com. It's trackxi.com. You can go there, take a look what we have, and we have some testimonials from customers. We have some of the companies that are using us. There's a little video explaining it. And if you go to the very bottom, you'll see my Excel spreadsheet I used to use before for historical purposes. So if you're using an Excel or a whiteboard or a monday.com, Asana, Airtable, Trello, any of those tools, Trackxi is all those tools and steroids focusing on real estate. That's what it is. And I'm also a licensed mortgage broker. I didn't talk about that. I don't do any mortgage right now. Same thing in the mortgage industry. We don't run it like a business. We don't have system process. So we have templates for mortgage brokers to track their mortgage process. So we have that. We can do pretty much anything you want as a process. So if you're a title company officer, we have like roofers and painters using our software, right? But we are heavily real estate focused, but mortgage processors can also use our software. So go check that out. And then we have like a link to sign up. It's 30 days free, and I'm all about making it easy. So it's 30 days free. It's month to month. At this time, right now, it's $40 a month for 2 people. Can have an agent and assistant. And if you have 3 other people, it's like only $69 a month. There's no contract. We will help you onboard from your current system to Trackxi. And if for some reason you want to leave, we want to be super easy for you to leave and find the other better tool. We are very open about it. So try that out. And our onboarding team is amazing. So set up a time to talk to us. And we'll even call you in 25 days before this thing expires. And we'll say, hey, are you happy? Do you want to renew? We'll do that as well. So use that. And I'm mainly in LinkedIn. It's Vijay and Gopalswamy. It's in the bottom of my screen. So look for it or search for Trackxi. Follow us. And my phone number is there. My email is there. Get in touch. And I want to help as many agents as possible.
So what I did not know, Vijay, which is why I pulled this book up, I came into the industry as a loan originator too, right? And so I was a loan originator licensed in the state of Illinois until 2012. And I was also a certified residential mortgage specialist through the National Association of Mortgage Brokers. So we definitely share the systems. We want the financial ability to be able to retire. And we know that it requires systems to do that. I want to thank you for being here, and everybody, thank you for tuning in. Go and check out Trackxi.
Thank you, Marky. Thank you, everyone.